Listen, guys. I woke up early just for this patch. Just for this patch. Because I wanted to see what they were going to do with Lux. I heard rumors Lux is getting nerfed, Lux is getting gutted. And I was praying to the Rito gods. Please, please, just buff mid Lux and nerf the shit out of support Lux. Because I'm tired of my champion being fucking tier 1. And I'm tired of never being able to play it. So, this is the first time I'm making a video ever. I've never made any type of video in terms of League of Legends. I've never made a video for any of my streams. So this is my first time. So bear with me. This is gonna be not edited. This is something that I'm thinking about getting into, but we'll see. So we're gonna look at patch 9.14 together. This was about 22 hours ago. What the fuck was this yesterday? Why didn't I see this? I didn't see this. Anyways, so we're going to look at this together so we can see the direction that solo queue is going to be taking. Let's start with... Actually, let's skip all the TFT bullshit. No, there is no TFT bullshit. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is anti-shielding champions. And this is something that was kind of worrisome to me, considering Lux, a lot of her strength is the fact that she's able to shield. You get a lot of stacking AP, you double the shield doubles, it's fantastic. So I was a little worried when hearing that they were adding anti-shielding and they were also nerfing the W. Now that I look at it, it is only Blitzcrank and Renekton. Blitzcrank, really, you don't really see Blitzcrank too often, especially in high elo, because of the fact that people do know how to sidestep. But right now, it looks like they're making his ultimate, is going to remove shields on enemies before its other effects. I don't really understand what that means. Now removes shields on enemies before its other effects. So basically, a Blitzcrank's going to be able to pull you in, ult you, which means you can't, or if you barriered beforehand, you have a Janna shield, any of that shit. I'm assuming that removes Black Shield as well, which is pretty cool. But I like that direction because of the fact that Blitzcrank is designed to be a hard engage, to counter the shielding, to counter the safety of a lot of the support champions that offer that shielding. So I don't really see a problem with that. The next thing would be Renekton, his W, which I think that's kind of weird considering not a lot of top laners have shields. I guess that would be good into Papi, who has the shield. Who else? Who else up top has a fucking shield? Camille, I think. Does Camille have a shield? I don't even know. I don't play top lane enough to know who does and doesn't have a shield. But that's just adding that's adding a little bit more power to Renekton. It's adding a little bit more utility to a champion who normally, if you don't see success in the early game, you're gonna have a bad time. So the next, I wouldn't say it's a mechanic they're adding, but they're buffing anti-healing, which I agree with this. I really agree with this, considering right now there are only 3 choices in, well, I guess 4 choices in heal reduction. That would be Katarina's ult, which they're touching. That would be Morello's, which I think it's only 40%, and they have to be below a certain amount of percent. I think it's 40%. Don't quote me. I think that's incorrect. And the next thing would be Executioner's Calling. Now, Executioner's Calling is a fantastic item. Every time I play with people, 80 carries, I always tell them, hey, just get the item. It's 800 gold. It takes out Summoner Heal. It takes out a lot of the regen, a lot of self-healing, any type of lifesteal that the enemy 80 carry has. It's a really good item that a lot of people don't utilize, in my opinion. So what they're doing is they're increasing the heal reduction. So they're making it from 40% to 60%. So that means that normally, if you're playing Katarina, a hard counter to you, or not really a hard counter, yeah, I'd say it's kind of a hard counter, would be Soraka. And the reason why Soraka can heal up a shit ton of damage you're putting out, she can throw the silence, but now it's reducing 60% of that heal. That's a lot. That means a 1,000 heal from Soraka is only going to be healing 400. That's fucking massive, guys. That's absolutely massive. So the second thing is going to be Kled. Q pull now applies healing reduction. That's kind of strange to me. I'm not really sure why they decided to add that into Kled. But I respect it. The next thing is flat damage reduction champion. So they're adding this flat reduction onto Fizz and to Leona. The passive to Fizz, which is Nimble Fighter, and Leona's W, meaning that we're going to be seeing a lot of Leona. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Leona, and I've always said that Leona is kind of underrated, kind of a champion that a lot of people are a little scared to utilize because of the fact that, like, she's a little boring to play, but she offers tankiness, she offers engage, she offers peel, she offers pretty good base damages. So I think Fizz is going to see, Fizz already kind of sees a lot of play, but now Fizz is going to be able to do well into champions like Malzahar, who have the ability to throw in the poke, to throw in Leandry poke, the dot poke, all that jazz. I think this is a pretty cool addition that they're adding. What are they, well, hold on. Leona no longer gains empowered basic attacks after casting Solar Flare. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing. Oops. Okay. So the next thing is True Sight champions, and I agree with this because I feel like the whole invisibility versus stealth thing, I think it's just a little out of hand. You know, like the Akali nonsense. I'm glad they wind up changing the Akali nonsense. So now that Akali can't tower dive with her Shroud and all that jazz. So now we're gonna have Karma with her W, LeBlanc with her E, and Morgana with her ult is gonna offer True Sights. That's badass. Considering if you have your chains on somebody and they jump into a bush, you'll now gain sight of them. If they are Twitch and they wind up stealthing, you'll gain sight of them. If they're Akali and they jump in their Shroud, you'll gain sight of them. I might be misinformed on some of the stealth to invisible mechanics because I don't play any of those type of champions. But correct me if I'm wrong on any of those. So anti-mobility champions is going to be added in now. Ahri E now cancels in progress dashes. Bonus damage duration decreased. So where would that be good? I guess a Renekton E. What else is a dash? It can't stop Malphite, right? Because that's unstoppable. Can it stop a Sejuani Q? I would imagine so. So we're gonna add that onto the RE. We're gonna add the Cassiopeia. They actually did a lot of changes with Cassiopeia. They increased her health, which I'm sure. I actually know a player named Pumptini, who is a support Kassadin player. Not Kassadin, Cassiopeia. She's a support Cassiopeia player, and her stats are actually pretty phenomenal for the elo that she's in. I think she's in gold. So I'm sure she's going to be happy about this. We're getting base health, the health growth, which is going to be great considering some Cassiopeias do get Rod of Ages. Less mana. Ooh, but more mana regen and less armor. Okay, so let's see what they're doing with the Miasma. They removed Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia no longer has a minimum cast range on Miasma. I have no idea what the fuck that means. I've played this champion like twice. Maximum cast range is now only 700. So they're adding the cooldown is gonna be. So they're doing what they're doing with Lux, where they're nerfing it early game, but they're increasing it late game. So she might be able to get 2 of these Miasmas off in one team fight, considering it's 12 seconds long. All right, so what are they doing with the E? Basically, Rat Poison. Cassiopeia heals for 75% less when she poisons minions and small monsters. That's great. That actually takes a lot of her sustain, which I like as a Lux player, being able to harass and poke somebody. Like, there's so much self-healing in this game. It's absolutely insane. I've played against Cassiopeia, and a lot of Cassiopeia's weaknesses are the fact that she is so short range, and being able to poke her at a longer range, jump in, hit an auto attack with the passive, back out. Like, that's great harass. But then when she E's 2 or 3 minions, and now she's back at full health, it's a little frustrating. But they are making it so that it is 75% less healing on minions, so she will have to put damage on me if she wants to get that healing back. I like it. Alright, so Papi, my boy Peba, are you going to be happy or disappointed by this? Let's see. So Papi is W, bonus movement speed increased, bonus movement speed duration decreased, grounds and slows dashing enemies. That is fantastic. If Papi stops an enemy from dashing or casting a movement ability, she grounds and slows them by 25% for 2 seconds. So grounding, does that mean they can't flash? So if let's say somebody tries to E out of it, like an Ezreal E or a Renekton E, if they try to get out of it and they're stopped, can they no longer flash out of it for 2 seconds? Or how does that work? How long is the grounding? She grounds and slows them for 2 seconds. I think that might be the case, which that's great. That's great. I think Papi is a great champion for anti-engage. Wow, Riot is really doing a lot of balance changes here. All right, so let's get into actual champion balances in terms of just raw numbers. So we have Aatrox's base health regen growth increase are no longer revive. Wait, are no longer revives Aatrox? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? They are taking out his... Despite the adjustments we've made over the past couple of patches, Aatrox has remained a stalwart presence in pro play. We're making him less reliable as a blind pick with the removal of revives from his ultimate. So they're increasing his health regen by 0.25, which is pretty significant, pretty good. They're removing the ability to revive through kills. They're amplifying self-healing up 10% and 5%. That's not very much. And the cooldown is getting decreased. I don't know, guys. I think these are the Aatrox nerfs we've been waiting for. That revive is just way too strong. I'm glad. I hate Aatrox. Aatrox is the anti-Lux champion, so I'm glad they're getting rid of this revive. Because think about it. When a champion can revive, let's say they engage on us, they get a kill. Aatrox has his ultimate. He's gonna revive. I catch him. I put all of my fucking juice into him, and bam! Doesn't matter. He's back up. He's back in the fight. Now all of my damage is gone, and we lose the team fight. So, you know what? Get rid of the revive. I'm happy. Let's take a look at Akali. Akali's not really a champion I have an issue with. Akali's one of the few champions that Lux does well into. But she is one of those champions also where if she gets ahead, she can absolutely snowball and take over a game. And that's from Iron to Challenger. Let's take a look. So the W cooldown is flattened. Energy restore flattened. Duration extension removed. Stealth type changed. Q AP ratio increased. E damage increased. R cooldown increased. We're taking some steps to make Akali a little less slippery while buffing her in other areas. By changing her stealth type to invisibility, should now be revealed by True Sight. Okay, that's great. So now we'll have LeBlanc is going to be able to hard counter her. The Karma is going to be fantastic, and the Morgana. Giving more enemies a way to find her when she's in her shroud. Just remove the shroud, guys. Just get rid of it. There's no need for it. Additionally, there will be a higher cost when she chooses to use her ultimate as a means of escape. But on the plus side, the buffs to her energy restore and damage on her E will help her stay lethal against any unfortunate caught out enemy. So let's see how much damage they're giving her. So they're increasing her magic resist by 5. That's kind of a lot. The health growth is 10. That's not that big. That's an additional 180 health. So the 5-point strike, her Q is going to have 0.6 damage. That's not a big deal early. The Twilight Shroud, alright, we'll skip that. The Shuriken Flip. How much are they adding to it? So they're adding more. Oh, wait. They nerfed it, but they're adding AP damage to it. Okay. I kind of like that. That gets rid of AD Akali, which is not very fun to play against. And 20 seconds off their cooldown from... No. They're... Oh, okay. They're nerfing this. They're adding 20 seconds to the cooldown, and then an additional 30 seconds later on. That's kind of an Akali nerf. I'm happy with that. All right. So the next one is Alistar. Base mana and mana growth increased, giving Alistar a boost in average play without making him overbearing in pro. The increase in mana helps those who may struggle with managing their resources in lane. So basically, wow, that's actually a lot of mana. Is that 278 to 350? And they're increasing the mana? Wow, okay. So, I don't know. I don't play Alistar. Alright, so Aurelion Sol. I did see this already. This was actually the one that I looked at. Basically, they're making the fat, as they said, where does it say? These changes should help encourage more dummy thick Q stars. And those of you who know who Big Papi is, you know that I'm down with the thickness, okay? So, more thick Aurelion Sol Qs, I'm down for it, okay? I'm down for it. I don't think, is that really going to help much? Let's see. They're increasing the stun duration. That's cute. I don't know. I feel like it's just going to encourage more fucking trolls that want to do this thick-ass Q. And they're just going to whiff past the team into our tower and give us a free kill. Who knows? Alright, so Bard. Bard does need love. I do love Bard as a champion. Base health increased. Health regen decreased. E-travel speed increased. Ally bonus speed flattened. We're shifting some of Bard's durability around to help him survive all-ins with his team, and speeding up his tunnel mobility for strong early game ganks. So they're buffing his magical journey. 33%. I guess this gives more... I think what this does, it gives more ganking potential for Bard. I have seen Bard jungle recently, which was very surprising. This is TBH. We'll determine it in the next week. Alright, so Diana. Passive and R bug fix. Q arc speed decrease and W cost. Alright, I don't guess this... Yeah, this really doesn't have anything to do with me. I guess the only thing good is the speed. Q's are a little bit more dodgeable, which is nice. I don't know. Diana's one of those champions where she gets strong and she just one-shots everybody. It doesn't matter what the fuck you build. Alright, so we're going to look at Galio. Galio's a champion where you don't really see much in pro... I'm sorry, not pro play. I've read pro play here. In solo queue. But like they say right here, Galio is a pro play regular. So they're going to be increasing the mana by 20. That's pretty significant. They're doubling the mana growth. Remove cooldown reduction. Colossal Smash. No... Cooldown is no longer reduced every time Galio hits a unique champion with an ability. Adds less to his all-in. So I'm assuming they're going to buff it, right? No, they're nerfing it. Okay. Q Winds of War. The cooldown is being nerfed. They're adding 4 seconds. The gust damage is being buffed. Okay, so they're adding more of a window for trade potential, but they are making it a little bit more potent. And the shield grounded. Galio cannot flash while channeling Shield of Durand. Wow, no more flash. Can now be interrupted by all the usual CC effects that are... Wow. But less slow time. Okay, that's a fair balance. I think that's a fair balance, guys. Alright, so Jhin, the W cooldown. We do have a couple one-trick Jhins in the community. I know LA Language and Shiny are 2 of them. I think there's a third. I can't remember off the top of my head. So let's take a look. They're going to be... The cooldown is decreased and the root duration increased. Adding some power into the part of Jhin's kit that rewards timing and coordination. And listen, that W is not easy to hit. That's a thin-ass skill shot. That is a thin-ass skill shot. So they're decreasing the cooldown by 2 seconds, which is pretty cool. And they're increasing the root duration by 0.25 across the board at every interval. Wait. Yes. Yes, that's what they're doing. Okay, cool. God, the Lux. I don't... Should I save the Lux? Should I save the Lux for last? I think we saved the Lux for last. I don't even want to look at it. I haven't even looked at it. I have not even looked at it. I'm pretty scared. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm actually scared to see what they're gonna do with it. Alright, so let's look at Malphite. Q slow increased, slow duration decreased. W empowers basic attacks on cast and cleaves in a cone. Cost increase and scales with rank and quality of life updates. Alright, so shield regeneration. Oh, okay, never mind. Blah, blah, blah. So they're adding, is it less slow or is it more slow? More slow early, slow duration is for less. Are they nerfing Malphite? What? Malphite's next basic attack within 6 seconds gains 50 increased range. That's weird. And deals physical damage. For the next 5 seconds after casting, Malphite's basic attacks cleave enemies in front of him. This is a weird change. We didn't really need this, right? Thank you. The fuck. Alright, Mordekaiser. Passive base damage increased or decreased. E magic pen decreased late. So they're basically nerfing. He's a little too strong, like they say right here in this line. We're following up with some additional adjustments. I agree with this. I think his raw damage is a little too strong. Especially considering people have started adding Ghost into the equation. They're playing Jungle Mordekaiser with the additional slow of the blue smite. So I do agree with that change. He's just a little tad, just a tiny bit. Nidalee Cougar E base magic damage increased, giving Nidalee a tiny bit of all-in help and jungle clear speed without impacting her already strong ranged abilities. So I think Nidalee actually has been seeing kind of an uprise. At least in the Diamond division, a lot of the one-trick Nidalees and even people who used to play Nidalee before are picking her back up again. The first was the inclusion of the nerf of, what is it called? Runic Echoes. I think that was something that put a lot of power back into Nidalee's early game. Alright, so the next thing is Pike. E now stuns non-champions. R deals reduced damage to surviving enemies. Now grants Pike additional Your Cut gold as well. What? Are they buffing Pike? Danny Phantom? Okay, so it looks like stunning enemies, which is kind of good for bot lane, considering a lot of the fights are usually determined by a couple bits of damage, 50 to 100 damage, and all those minions attacking, if you're able to stun them during the engage, this kind of helps out. I think also stunning might reset the aggro. I could be wrong on that. Alright, so let's see what they're doing with the ult. It deals 50% reduced damage to enemies that survive death from below. That is nice. That's actually really good. Pike mid is insanely strong. I've only seen it about 3 or 4 times, and each time that Pike just completely shit on everybody. Alright, Rise. Base health regen and health regen growth increased. Q and E bug fixes. Why are they giving more power to Rise? Can you guys just delete this champion, Riot, please? Like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing with this champion. I get he's one of the first. I get you have a Riot employee that is named Rise and loves the champion, but you guys don't know what you're doing. It's come on, holy shit. They're buffing him. He's strong as fuck already, and you're gonna give him more durability? Alright, I'm done. We'll stay off of Rise. Alright, Singed. Q recast timer increased. Brighter ability icon, nothing. Okay, soul fragments. We're gonna skip Swain, because if we skip Swain, then maybe nobody will play Swain. How about that? That's what we'll do. Alright, so let's take a look at Sylas. Sylas has been seeing a lot of love in the jungle lately, and a lot of strength in the jungle. So we'll see. Passive damage versus minions less reduced. They just nerfed the jungle. Q detonation damage increased. E shield granted on first cast no longer blocks non-magic damage, but blocks all magic damage for a duration. What? Passive reduction on damage 50%. Okay, here it is. Now shields himself against all magic damage for 2 seconds on first cast. What does this mean? Shields himself against all magic. Does this mean that he's going to be immune to magic damage? What? Cooldown. What? Did they just buff Sylas? Oh my goodness. So they nerfed the hijack, which is cool. Hijack ultimate hold duration. You can only have it for 90 seconds. The cooldown, wow, that's actually a really big 60 seconds. AP conversion, they lowered it down from 0.5 to 0.4 and 1 to 0.6. Okay, that's actually a nerf. So he's gonna have a little bit more trading potential, but less all in, it looks like, which I kind of like that. Just back up when he does his E. Wait 2 seconds, and then you can trade with him, and there's nothing he can do. All right, Tom Kench. Tom Kench has needed a nerf for a while, so let's see what they're doing with him. The passive damage, health scaling increased. Stacks no longer increased ability damage. Ability no longer applies stacks. Wait. Passive damage, health scaling increased. Stacks no longer increase ability damage. Q no longer has a melee range arc. Stun now consumes all stacks. Wow, stun now consume. Bye-bye, Tom Kench. Bye-bye, nice knowing you. E stores less gray health, but heals for a higher percent. Yeah, this champion's fun. I'm not even going to read this. Just right here. Stun now consumes all stacks. No more crazy. Like, you can't. So if somebody's running away, and they have 2 auto attacks on them, and they dash away, you can't stun them, walk up to them, and eat them. You can't. You have to stun them, walk up to them, and then get the stacks again. That's crazy. Urgot, we don't care about you. Okay, Yumi, this is interesting. Passive shield decreased, mana restore removed. Q empowered damage decreased, cost increased. E missing HP scaling increased, cost decreased. Wow. So they're going to be changing the shield early, removing 30 shield from it. Yumi no longer restores mana when she hits an enemy with an empowered basic attack. I kind of like that. Give her some type of downside to the crazy poke that she has. They are decreasing the poke damage. It's going to remain 60 at level 1. Wait, empowered damage. No, it's actually reducing down to 50. So it looks like a 10 decrease across the board. And they're buffing it by 0.5 ability power damage, which is going to encourage less support and more AP type Yumis. The Zoomies, base heal scaling, we'll skip this. Actually, 100% to 130% based on targets missing health. I gotta like that. Alright, range top laners. A handful of range top laners are the dominant picks in professional play because of their combination of their status as a safe early pick in the draft order and their potential to heavily. So they're going to be. What? This is pro play shit. NA Jace, like, does not need a nerf. Okay. So they're going to be nerfing Jace early and buffing him late. Kennen kind of needs a nerf. Attack damage and attack speed decreased. Attack damage growth increased. E bonus attack speed increased. This is like on hit. This is on hit Kennen shit. Okay. Nico, attack damage and attack speed decreased. I kind of want to skip all this. Alright, so this is ARAM shit. Any more items? No. We got 2 skins coming out. Demacia Vice Garen and Demacia Vice Lucian. Those are actually pretty cool. I like those. That reminds me of, what is that game called? Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Alright, so let's go back to the reason why we're making this video. Lux really hasn't seen any type of changes since they buffed the W, and she remained kind of under the radar for a long time. I currently play her mid lane. I'm one of the top Luxes in NA right now for mid lane. Majority of the players that are on the list are support players because of the fact that you max the W. It's just absolutely OP. That along with Aftershock, there's so much safety in support Lux. So let's take a look. We're gonna read all of this, so bear with me. The Q cooldown increased early, decreased late, cost flattened. The W Double shield on return removed. Shield ratio increased. Shield duration decreased. R cooldown reset removed. I did hear about that, and I was curious what they were going to put onto it instead of the cooldown, which I don't really care about, considering like you don't really get more than one ultimate. I mean, maybe if you have presence of mind, but even then, like, it's usually you get one good ultimate and that kind of decides the team fight. So the cooldown reset, kind of useless. Maybe good for roaming and like a lot of skirmishes. The cooldown decreased late and the ratio increased. Builds centered around the safety provided in by Lux's W have risen in prominence over the last month or two. Yes, because Lux's prismatic barrier dodged some of the adjustment treatment given to other shields. We're making some changes to adjust the power between her offense and defense-oriented builds. We're also removing the final Sparks cooldown refund since we never pushed the mechanic far enough to feel really meaningful. Amen. And the effect can just be replicated with adjustments to its base cooldown. Agreed. So I did hear about the Q. I heard it was going to be put down to 8 seconds at the last rank. What are they going to do? Riot, please put it down to 8 seconds. The cooldown is now from 10 seconds across all the board to 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10, and 9. It's not 8, but it's still 9. That is 1 second off of what it normally is. I like that. I really like that. Let me tell you why I like this. Let me first see what else they're doing with it. 50 mana at all ranks. Okay. So I'm going to put up a calculator right here. This is why I like this. So 40% of 9 seconds. Let me check this real quick. 3.6, so 9 minus 3.6. We're looking at 5.4 second cooldown on the Q. Let me tell you something as a Lux player, okay? If your Q's not up, if you don't hit your target with your Q, you're not ulting them. 9 times out of 10, they're going to sidestep it. It's just not happening, especially in high elo. Even in platinum, people sidestep the fucking ultimate. You gotta hit your Q. So the more Qs that are popping out, the more potential for your actual combo. Yes, E is nice, and you can even have them into E, and their ability to sidestep is possible. Not to mention all of the mobility that are on champions nowadays. This is fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Especially considering I max Q second. And the reason why I max Q second is because, again, you can't push out the damage unless you root the target. And I've had a lot of people come into the chat saying, wait, Big Papi, why don't you max the W second? Just max the W second, the W is broken. I agree the W is broken. But if I max the W second, then all I have is my E and my R for damage. I need that Q damage. Lux does shit for damage early as it is. So the fact that we're changing it, they're nerfing the early game. I don't care about that. I really don't care about that. When I'm in laning phase, I very rarely pop out a Q for actual harass damage. It's usually E auto attack with a shield in there. Sometimes I throw the Q out, but for the most part, and this is just 3 seconds we're talking about. 3 seconds is not that big of a deal in laning phase. Laning phase is a little bit slower. There's a little bit more time in between the trading and the harassment. So I'm okay with this. In team fights, listen, it's huge. Team fights, 1 or 2 seconds is huge. We're not going to see any type of difference until we get to the 4th and the 5th point into the queue. So what is that, level, like, I don't know, 11, 12 or something like that? So now that I'm saying this all out loud, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of like the potential for more Qs later on. But the team fight, oh god. The mid to late game team fighting is just so strong with that 9 seconds. Like it really makes a big difference. 1 second doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is. And Lux really thrives in mid to late game team fights. So we'll see this next week how, if I even notice a difference. The next thing is going to be, and this is the big one, the prismatic barriers, the returning shield. They're taking off. They're removing the double outgoing shield. I'm okay with that. Same as outgoing shield, returning shield will still stack. I'm okay with that. I really don't care about that. I max this shit last. It's kind of like an extra nice added thing to my AD carry, to whoever gets caught out. But at the same time, again, I'm maxing it last. It's not even that strong early. The shield ratio, to kind of compensate this, they're adding an additional 1 AP, which is nice for mid lane Lux. The maximum shield is going down. Wow, this is actually significant. The maximum shield is going to be going down 110. I agree with it, though. I kind of agree with it. And the shield duration, I really don't care about the shield. Take the shield off. Add an extra damaging attack. Give me a flash. Give me a damn reposition. I'll take a reposition. We can take the shield, right? Have the shield back. Have the shield back. The next thing, and what I'm excited about, is the ultimate. They're removing the refund. It no longer refunds a percentage of its maximum cooldown when hitting at least one enemy champion that dies within 1.75 seconds. I don't care about that. The cooldown is now down to 40 seconds at the last rank, which is level 16. That's not that big of a deal. The ratio, they're increasing it 0.7. Holy shit. They're making it a 1-to-1 scaling ability, guys. They're making it a 1-to-1. That's insane. So let's say I have 700 damage times 0.25. That's an extra 175 damage that we're getting over what we normally get. That's more Baron steals. That's more double kills, triple kills. Give me a freaking penna. That's more outplays. That's more raw damage, guys. Lux has been struggling with damage. Holy shit. I'm so excited, guys. I'm in awe. They buffed Lux damage. Well, I mean, the numbers are nice. Let's see how the champion feels this next week in solo queue. I'm going to try uploading this to YouTube. I've never owned a YouTube before. I've never posted anything. So, if you do see this in a YouTube channel, what do other YouTubers say? Smash that like button. Drop a mean, hateful comment, or a nice one if you'd like. I don't care. Just comment it. Give the thumbs up. All that other shit, we'll learn YouTube as we go along. This is probably going to be an unedited video, so bear with all the ums, me picking my nose, coughing in the mic. You might hear my fans. I don't know. I don't even know if you guys can hear the music. I don't even know if this video is going to come to existence, because this is the first time I'm doing this on OBS. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I think it's 38 minutes long now, 40 minutes long. Come check me out on Twitch. My name is Big Papi Danimo. There is a link to the Discord for the Discord. It's on the Twitch. I don't know if I can add it onto the YouTube video. We'll figure this shit out. But thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you. And maybe if you guys like this, we'll do this next week. Who knows? But definitely we will be creating this YouTube, and we will be adding a lot more videos. So kisses, peace, thickness.